I don't have big dreams when it comes to comics. I love doing these little books. I don't have big dreams of being published by a big publisher. I love making these little, shitty Xerox books that I don't care if anyone gives me $1 for or not. If I read a comic of someone who's like getting a lot of attention or like just really scoring in life, I'm kind of like, why is this made? It's just a different kind of strange tone to me. I worked at an art supply store surrounded by artists, and so I just kind of started drawing these little stories, and my first story was actually called Puke Stories. When I told these stories to friends, they killed, so I just really thought that, well, it's funny material. Puke Stories, which is about just horrible times as a kid, where just very dramatic stories about throwing up. Like the county fair, where I just had a really, I was just really excited. My parents let me eat everything I wanted, and I did. Caramel apple, corn on the cob, and then we went on this really twisty, super scary ride, and I just lost it. Teenagers next to me that are saying, ew, gross, get her away from us, and the ride is like moving like this, and so like the puke or whatever is just like rolling, and it's almost hitting the perfect teenager's feet, and they wouldn't stop it. They're like, no, it's got to cycle through. And it's just like such a traumatic, horrible story, but I think it's the highlight of the book. None of them are like, oh, I got so drunk and then I did this. They're all like, when you're a kid and throwing up is like totally innocent. I started the series as a 28-year-old going back to college and going to Canada. Thought that was going to make a good story. I actually stopped sending the Slithers home because I was a little bit critical of my dad in a certain issue that I thought would hurt his feelings. I like telling stories, but pretty much they're all from real life. I don't know if I'm even really very good at making up stories. So the whole kind of, write what you know, I think really just seemed really logical to me. All the books have this element of sad with funny moments, and that's just kind of what I find kind of entertaining. I got my first letter from prison, and I got a review in a review magazine, Zine World. It gets around. I got letters in 1 week from just mostly the heartland, actually, and then my first letter from someone in prison who had read a review. And he couldn't send me money, he sent me some stamps. The letter was mostly, hey, send me a comic. And then the rest of it was kind of telling me his story, that he's going to be in the hole for the next 6 years because he can't get acclimated to the general prison population. So that's yeah, I don't know. So I wrote probably the simplest, most vague letter in the world when I sent it back. I just said, hi, Ronnie. Good luck to you, Kelly. That's it. Really, what do you say? Like, ooh, let's start a relationship. Ooh. I had what felt like more of a fanship of mostly guys. I got a lot of kind of like flirtatious letters around that time, which was a great perk. It was fun, definitely. But now that I'm in like Slither 6 and I've just met my boyfriend, and things are kind of looking up, and I really just kind of feel like the letters have decreased, definitely. I haven't gotten a passionate letter in a long time. I'm working in an assisted living home right now, and one of these ladies, her name is Dorothy, and I probably shouldn't put her real picture out there. I changed her name. My first interaction with her is she came to the front desk where I work and asked me to sharpen an entire box of Prismacolor pencils. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll do this for you. And I sharpened them, and she said thank you. And I kind of bonded with her at that moment because I thought, oh, she likes to draw. But then every time I've seen her after that, she's been completely a different person. And I was told that she refused to take her medication, and she started saying just like really kind of crazy things. Also really racist things, and telling people to go back to Africa, your ticket's waiting at the airport. It comes to a climax where she's taken against her will. She's strapped onto a gurney. And all of a sudden, it's just not funny anymore. All these funny things that she's been saying, I can just see how terrified she is as she is being taken out. And she screams to me, "Call my son." My heart just breaks. And so there's this part in the book where I'm gonna say, it was a very emotionally intense scene, and at that moment I wished we could have just let her go on being crazy. She does this every 5 years, pretty much on the hour. Every 5 years she stops taking her meds, she has a period of craziness, she goes to the hospital, and then she gets back on her meds and she comes back and she's totally back to normal. She should be back at the home any day now. Maybe I do want to see my book published, you know, maybe deep down, even though I, you know, said, oh, that's not my goal, it's not my dream, but of course it would be nice. You know, it's a thrill to like actually have like a binding with your name on it, or to be able to buy it on Amazon or a major bookstore, I guess. It's a big deal.